Hello, lovely souls. Welcome back to the channel, where we celebrate the beauty of home decor with a touch of timeless charm. Today, we're stepping into a dreamy small green and gray English country cottage, brimming with shabby chic elegance and vintage inspiration. If you adore soft pastels, weathered woods, and floral accents, this is the video for you. Don't forget to hit subscribe, give this video a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your favorite decor ideas. There's something undeniably magical about English country cottages. Their quaint architecture, lush gardens, and cozy interiors evoke a sense of nostalgia and warmth. This small green and gray cottage captures that essence perfectly, blending rustic charm with delicate shabby chic details. From exposed beams to vintage textiles, every corner tells a story. If you've ever dreamed of escaping to the countryside, this cottage will inspire you to bring that romantic aesthetic into your own home. The soft green and gray hues in this cottage create a serene, nature-inspired retreat. Sage green walls pair beautifully with dove gray furniture, evoking the tranquility of an English garden. These muted tones allow vintage decor to shine while keeping the space light and airy. Whether you're painting a feature wall or choosing upholstery, this color combo is a timeless choice for a shabby chic or country-style home. It's all about balance, calm, elegant, and effortlessly charming. No English cottage is complete without the warmth of weathered wood. Distressed tables, reclaimed shelves, and aged floorboards add texture and history to this home. The natural imperfections, knots, cracks, and peeling paint, only enhance the character. If you love the vintage farmhouse look, consider incorporating salvaged wood pieces or using chalk paint to create a time-worn finish. It's a simple way to infuse soul into modern living spaces. Florals are a staple in English country decor, and this cottage embraces them beautifully. Delicate rose-patterned curtains, embroidered cushions, and botanical prints bring the garden indoors. Mixing different floral designs adds depth without overwhelming the space. For a shabby chic touch, opt for faded, vintage-style fabrics or upcycle thrifted linens. The key is to keep the palette soft, think blush pinks, creamy whites, and muted greens, for that dreamy, romantic feel. A collection of vintage china is a must in any cottage home. Open shelves adorned with mismatched teacups, floral plates, and milk glassware add whimsy and nostalgia. Displaying heirlooms or thrifted finds turns everyday items into decor. Group pieces by color or pattern for a cohesive look, or mix eras for an eclectic vibe. These small touches make the kitchen and dining areas feel personal and full of stories, just like a true English cottage. Every cottage needs a cozy nook for curling up with a book and a cup of tea. This home features a charming window seat draped in linen cushions and a throw blanket, perfect for lazy afternoons. A vintage ladder shelf holds well-loved books, while a small side table keeps essentials within reach. If you're tight on space, even a corner with a plush armchair and soft lighting can become your own little retreat. A rustic fireplace anchors this cottage's living room, surrounded by reclaimed wood and vintage accessories. Whether functional or decorative, a fireplace adds instant coziness. Style the mantel with antique mirrors, dried flowers, and candle holders for a lived-in look. If you don't have a fireplace, a faux mantel or a stack of birch logs in a basket can evoke the same inviting atmosphere. It's all about creating that heart-of-the-home feeling. Shabby chic furniture, with its chipped paint, curved legs, and delicate carvings, brings romance to this cottage. A distressed dresser serves as a bathroom vanity, while a vintage vanity desk becomes a quaint workspace. The beauty of this style is in its imperfections. Each scratch tells a story. Hunt for second-hand pieces at flea markets or give new furniture an antique makeover with sanding and wax for that time-worn appeal. living in an English cottage should feel soft and inviting. This home uses crystal chandeliers, wrought iron lanterns, and vintage table lamps to cast a warm glow. Fairy lights draped over a mirror or inside glass jars add a magical touch. For an authentic look, opt for bulbs with a soft amber hue rather than harsh white light. The right lighting transforms a space into a serene, storybook-worthy retreat. Fresh flowers, potted herbs, and trailing ivy breathe life into this cottage. A simple mason jar filled with garden roses or a windowsill herb garden adds color and fragrance. Dried lavender bundles and eucalyptus stems offer low-maintenance alternatives. Plants soften hard edges and connect the indoors with nature, essential for that authentic English countryside vibe. Even a single sprig in a vintage bottle can make a difference. Nothing says cottage cozy like layers of vintage textiles. This home features crocheted blankets, linen curtains, and embroidered pillowcases that invite you to sink in and relax. Mixing textures, such as burlap, lace, and faded cotton, adds depth and warmth. Look for hand-stitched details or tea-dyed fabrics to enhance the shabby chic aesthetic. Draping a quilt over a chair or layering rugs creates an effortlessly lived-in feel that's both stylish and comforting. Ornate antique mirrors with gilded or distressed frames are a hallmark of English cottage decor. They amplify light, enhance small spaces, and add a touch of old-world elegance. This cottage showcases a stunning oval mirror above the fireplace and a vintage dressing mirror in the bedroom. Hunting for unique frames at flea markets or thrift stores can yield stunning finds. Even a simple mirror painted with chalk paint and lightly sanded can achieve that coveted vintage look. Open shelving in kitchens and living areas keeps essentials accessible while showcasing curated collections. This cottage uses rustic wooden shelves to display vintage teacups, leather-bound books, and ceramic pitchers. The key is to balance function and beauty. Arrange items in small groupings with breathing room. Add a trailing plant or a small framed print to break up the linearity. Open shelving turns everyday objects into art, making the home feel personal and intentional. hardwood floors are prized, painted floorboards add a playful, cottage-appropriate twist. This home features soft gray-washed planks that brighten the space while maintaining a rustic feel. For a similar look, consider pale blues, mint greens, or creamy whites. Stenciled designs or a checkerboard pattern can add vintage flair. The charm lies in the slightly worn, lived-in appearance, perfect for a home that embraces imperfections. From drawer pulls to door handles, vintage hardware elevates the cottage aesthetic. This space incorporates brass knobs, porcelain drawer handles, and wrought iron hooks for an authentic touch. Swapping out modern fixtures for antique or reproduction pieces is an easy upgrade. Flea markets and salvage yards are treasure troves for unique finds. These small details tie the whole home together, adding character to furniture, cabinets, and doors. The bedroom in this cottage is a sanctuary of soft hues, billowy linens, and delicate florals. A wrought iron bed frame dressed in a vintage quilt becomes the focal point, while a chippy paint nightstand holds a porcelain lamp. Layering different whites and creams keeps the space airy yet cozy. For an extra touch, hang a floral wreath above the bed or drape a lace canopy for a romantic, storybook feel. While cottages often feel collected over time, avoiding clutter is key to maintaining their charm. This home strikes the perfect balance. Surfaces are styled but not overcrowded, allowing each piece to shine. Use baskets and vintage trunks for hidden storage, and edit displays seasonally. The goal is a lived-in look that feels intentional, not chaotic. A well-curated cottage should whisper relaxation, not overwhelm the senses. The smallest entryway can enchant with the right touches. This cottage's entrance features a weathered bench, a hanging wreath, and a vintage umbrella stand. A round mirror and a small console table create a functional yet pretty drop zone. Adding a patterned rug or a framed botanical print personalizes the space. The entry sets the tone for the entire home, warm, welcoming, and full of character. A true cottage celebrates repurposed treasures. An old ladder becomes a blanket rack, a wooden crate turns into a side table. This home embraces creativity, giving new life to forgotten items. Scour flea markets for pieces with good bones, then refinish or reimagine their use. Not only is this approach eco-friendly, but it also ensures your decor is one of a kind. The best cottages tell stories through their furnishings. An English cottage isn't complete without a tie to its garden. This home blurs the lines with potted plants on windowsills, floral fabrics, and nature-inspired artwork. French doors or large windows help merge the spaces visually. Even in an apartment, a small balcony with climbing ivy or a tabletop herb garden can evoke that countryside connection. The goal is to make the outdoors feel like an extension of your living space. Vintage paintings, botanical prints, and aged photographs add soul to cottage walls. This home features an eclectic mix of framed art in mismatched frames, some gilded, some chippy, all full of charm. Group smaller pieces in a gallery wall or let one large painting anchor a room. For an authentic look, seek out landscapes, floral still lives, or antique mats. Even new prints can be aged with tea staining for instant vintage appeal. The cottage bathroom blends function and nostalgia with a clawfoot tub, a marble-topped vanity, and delicate lace curtains. Open shelving holds rolled towels and apothecary jars, while a freestanding mirror adds elegance. For a similar feel, incorporate beadboard paneling, vintage-look faucets, and soft, neutral tones. Even small bathrooms can channel this aesthetic with the right fixtures and thoughtful details. One of the joys of cottage living is decorating for the seasons. This home switches out textiles, wreaths, and centerpieces to reflect the time of year: fresh blooms in spring, dried wheat in autumn, evergreen boughs in winter. Small changes keep the space feeling fresh while staying true to its roots. A simple swap of cushion covers or a new table runner can instantly transform the mood. The kitchen in this cottage is the heart of the home, with open shelves, a farmhouse sink, and a rustic wooden table. Soft gray cabinetry pairs with brass hardware, while fresh herbs in terracotta pots add life. For a similar vibe, incorporate butcher block countertops, a vintage-style stove, and a mix of practical and pretty storage. A cottage kitchen should feel warm, functional, and full of love, just like a home-cooked meal. And there you have it, a dreamy green and gray English country cottage filled with shabby chic touches and vintage inspiration. Whether you live in a countryside home or a city apartment, these ideas can help you create your own cozy retreat. Which detail was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. If you loved this tour, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more decor inspiration. Until next time, happy decorating, and may your home always tell your story.